Shay tells the goddess Alice that he cannot force himself to murder anyone, he just does not want to be part of that if that is his purpose. He'd rather not have his superpowers than harm someone. Goddess Alice stands there for a moment and then smiles. She tells Shay that he has passed the test. She just wanted to see what he would say in this situation and how far would he use his powers. She never planned for him to become a destroyer of human lives. Shay is relieved that he can keep his powers and also not be violent. Still, he is a bit confused about what his powers do exactly. Is it just creating hot babes from objects, or is it something else? She also wants to know if there is another way to use his powers except for touching something. Alice then reveals the most hilarious twist. She has no idea actually. Alice explains that while she is a god, she does not have all the information. All the gods give a little bit of their power to select humans, but even they do not know what the powers will be. Basically, she still has no answers and no idea how to save humanity with his powers. Suddenly, Sin appears at the front door. She has come to visit him, and Alice is very curious about her. At first, Goddess Alice thinks that Shay is dating Sin, so she orders him to let her in. Sid is surprised that she has a hot woman in his apartment, and this will surely lead to a lot of comedic moments. Sin right away gets furious. She thinks that Shay is some sort of pervert, because he is in his underwear and there is a lady present. She starts to scream at him, but she finally starts to explain. Shay tells her that Alice is just his cousin that is visiting for a few days. They are not dating, it's nothing like that. Stin calms down and starts to look at Alice. The first thing she notices is her giant chest. Stin is a bit jealous, but she is now calm since she knows that Alice is Shin's cousin. Alice plays along and pretends to be a distant cousin, so Shay is able to save the situation. While she goes to the store to buy some groceries, Alice and Sin are left alone. It's a very awkward and weird since Alice does not know how to act like a normal person. She's a goddess after all. Alice decides to test Sin, so she starts to touch her face. This makes Sin blush and she's very confused by this entire moment. Is Alice kidding on this normal girl right now? Suddenly Shay arrives and the girls act like nothing happened. Shay then asks Sin why she came to visit. She explains that she got a call from a police officer, the same one who was at the crime scene, and who asked them those questions when the robbers were hit by that car. The police officer for some reason had more questions and they were about Shay. It seems that he suspects that she was involved in the robbery. Shay is totally shocked by this and tries to pretend it's just a funny situation. While he acts totally casual, he is a bit worried about that policeman. How did he know that she was involved, and how much does he know? After Sin leaves, Alice warns Shinga about that police officer. She explains that while he might not know anything, there is also a chance that he is someone with secrets and special powers as well. Alice sits Shi down and starts to explain some things to him. So basically, there are special humans that are actually pretty smart on Earth, and some of them can even detect powers. This police officer might be one of those humans. Alice then tells Shay that he has to be careful with using his powers so that he does not detect any more attention. Shay is then confused. How did the police officer already start to suspect him? It should not be possible. They only met once. Alice then explains that he met the police officer already. It's not just once. She has no memory of that, but we know that it could be that time he turned a whole building into a girl. Alice thinks that Shay is a totally idiot, but decides to stay by his side. Alice goes to bed and tells Shay that she will be staying in his apartment and working from there. She has to prepare meals for her and serve her basically. As the night goes on, Shi has a wild dream where all the girls he summoned jump on him and hug him at the same time. When he wakes up, Alice is there waiting for him and tells him to get ready for superpower training. It seems Shi will finally learn how to use and develop his superpowers. Maybe it can finally be of some use to him and the world. Alice is very determined to train Shay every day, but she does not want to reveal what type of training they will be doing. Shay is confused, but he lets it go. He is a bit worried that it will be brutal training since Alice can be very mean. Soon after, Alice and Shay sit down for a meal. Alice likes living with him and plans to stay for a while. For that reason, Shay thinks that they should tell everyone that they are cousins. Shay then remembers a painful memory from his past. He had a sister, actually. He tells this to Alice, and she is curious about this sister. Shay explains that his mother was pregnant, but their child died soon after birth. They cannot remember how, and Shay also doesn't. It's very strange. Alice is curious about this, so she summons a magical orb. This orb is a world record. Basically, it has all the information from this world. Alice tries to search for any info about Shay and his sister, but she cannot find it. Alice promises to keep searching as she is also now curious about what happened with this mysterious sister. A few days go by and now it's time for the superpower training to start. Alice takes Shi to a very popular bridge in the middle of a mountain pass. It's a tourist attraction since the bridge has a bottom that is made of pure glass. Shay is nervous about being around so many people and he does not want to train here where there are so many tourists. Also, he hopes that he won't have to walk on a tightrope as part of the test. Alice then explains that the test is yet to begin, but it will happen here. Suddenly, there is an argument in the crowd. A girl screams that there is a pervert harassing her. Her boyfriend gets involved and starts to fight the pervert. The pervert pretends that the girl is crazy and he is totally innocent. He starts to hit the boyfriend and causes a scene. Shai decides to step in and help the situation. He tells the pervert to back away and calm down. Shai is then pushed by the old pervert, and his phone drops into the abyss below. Basically, she has just lost Nikki forever, the person he loved the most. Shai is now pissed off and he wants to deal with the pervert. Shai is furious, and he starts to scream at the pervert. He's just lost a very important person, and the pervert thinks it's just a phone. The pervert starts to insult She for getting so upset, and he even makes fun of him. Suddenly, Alice notices someone in the crowd. He has a face mask, and his eyes are pure red. He watches over She, and suddenly she starts to act different. There is now a dark energy around him, and Shai loses control of himself. The mysterious man leaves in the crowd. Shai is now even angrier, and he grabs the pervert by the neck. He has no mercy and throws him over the bridge into his death. Damn, this escalated quickly. The people on the bridge start to run as they are afraid of Shai, and She is just smiling with a wicked grin. Alice then stops time and slaps Shai. Alice tells him that he just ended someone's life and that he broke his rule. Shai is now really sad and feels horrible. Still, he thinks that something happened to him. It seemed like he was not in control. Shai begs Alice to change this, and to help him, he tells her to rewind back time by 3 minutes. Alice tells him that this type of favor will cost him a lot. Alice explains that something like turning back time can be very dangerous, especially to the person who wants it done. She then tells Shai the main thing that could happen if he wants to do it. She might die when Alice reverses time. Shai is scared out of his mind, but he knows what must be done. He tells Alice to reverse time and let him save that pervert. Alice uses a lot of her power, but she's able to return back time by 3 minutes. Shai realizes that he is now in a different position on the bridge, and thankfully his phone is in his pocket. Nikki is safe and sound, so he does not need to worry about that. Shai then notices that Alice is very tired and in pain. She tells him to ignore her and go deal with the problems on the bridge. Shai then finds that old pervert, and this time he kicks him in the butt and calls security on him. Shai then has to carry Alice to safety as she can no longer walk. He is pretty worried about her. It seems that she was not in any danger during this spell, but Alice drained a lot of her power. When Alice and Shai return home, she just wants to sleep and get some rest. Alice then finally reveals something important. Shai did not act by his own will. Someone on that bridge used his emotions and made him go crazy. Alice reveals that there are other superpowered people on Earth, and some of them can manipulate the emotions of other people. She then tells Shai that it will take some time for her to recover from this spell. Still, she wants to know something about Shai and his emotions. She wants to know, what did Shai feel when his phone went flying over the bridge? Why did he get so angry, besides the manipulation from that superpowered person? Shai explains that he felt pain, pure rage, and sadness. He felt like he lost a part of himself. Alice needs him to further explain, does he have feelings for his phone or Nikki, as he calls her. Shai then finally admits that he does have feelings for Nikki and also for all the other girls he has created. He cares for them. He is not in love with all of them, but he cares for them. Alice then explains that his powers were not an accident at all. Everything happens for a reason. Shai got a portion of her powers, but it manifested in him being able to create girls from objects. Shai then remembers his past. He was alone all the time. His parents worked most of the day, so he had to spend time alone with his toys. As he grew older, Sheen never had many friends and also was alone most of the time. This is the reason he can do what he can. He creates friends and loved ones from objects. They are girls because he collects wife toys, but most importantly, he has this power because he wants to care for people and have friends. Alice then tells Shai that she must travel to a different dimension for a meeting. Shai decides to take a bath to relax a bit. Suddenly, Alice returns, but she is covered in bruises and blood. It seems that the mighty goddess was in some sort of fight. Shai is really worried about Alice, and he wants to know what happened to her. Alice has to rest for a bit since she can barely move. She explains that she went to talk with the other gods and they beat her up. They were angry at her because she got involved with humans and protected them. Alice is now really weak and she needs Shin to help her heal. She grabs both of his hands and kisses him. She starts to feel really tired while Alice heals herself. Suddenly, Shay falls asleep and he is transported to a new dimension. Betty spots Alice in her goddess form, but she has a spear through her chest. It looks like Alice will die soon, and she asks Shai if he will be sad when she's gone. Shai is confused about this entire situation, and he does not know how to help Alice. Goddess Alice is badly bleeding, and Shai has no idea how he got into this dimension. They are both floating in space above Earth, and Alice wants to know if she will be sad when Alice dies. She admits that he will be very sad, but he wants to find a way to stop this from happening. Alice explains that suddenly a human became a god and did this to her. This human must be horrible. Alice feels pathetic. A goddess like her defeated by some crazy human. Alice starts to cough up blood. Her form is failing. She's going away. Shai begs her to stay. He really wants to help, but there is nothing for him to do. Finally, Alice says goodbye to She, and she disappears, turning into pure light. Shai then suddenly wakes up in his room, and Alice is sleeping by his side. He has no idea what that vision was or what happened. Alice seems to be fine. She wakes up and she is totally healed. That must have been some strange vision that she had. Shai decides to go buy some food for himself and Alice. While he is out there shopping, Alice overlooks the city and is very serious. She cannot stop thinking about her question and wants to know what really happened in that dimension. Alice and she go for some lunch. Shai is really worried about the goddess, and he finally tells her what he saw in his dream. He explains that he saw her die and that he is really worried about her. Alice tells him that this is impossible. She is a goddess and nothing bad can happen to her. Shai is certain that he saw her die. She was not just injured in this vision. Alice is not worried at all, but she does wonder how come she has this new power. It's very special to see a possible future and she has developed this power. Shai is also impressed, but he does not want to focus and worry about it. He is much happier being around Alice. Alice teases him about caring so much for her. Shai explains that Alice gave him his powers and helped him a lot, so of course he cares for her. When they return home, Shai decides that it's time to spend some time with Nikki. They have not seen each other for a long time. He uses his powers and changes his phone into Nikki. They are so happy to be reunited and they hug. Nikki is then also introduced to Alice. After the two of them meet, they decide to have a fun day out on the town. Shai is very excited as he gets to spend more time with Nikki. He has really missed her. The trio goes to the market, and they start to explore the city. Alice is very hungry at all times, so she wants to buy some food while they are here. Shai remembers the first time he came to this place with Nikki. He bought her that ring, but now he had to return it. Nikki is super happy to be back here, and she wants to explore all the games and foods. Alice asks Shai if he's going to pay for all their food for today. Shai accepts this, but begs Alice to not spend all of his money. Nikki is a bit afraid of the food, but Shai explains it all to her and promises to protect her. In the meantime, Alice starts to pick and choose which food she wants. Soon enough, she has purchased a lot of food. Alice really likes to eat and also tortures Shai with her behavior. While she hangs out with Nikki, Alice gets lost in the crowd. Shai is really worried about her and starts to run around. Soon he spots her around some guys. She is just chilling and eating her food. Shai really got worried for a moment. Nikki, Alice, and she stop by a local cafe. Shai tells Alice to stick close to him. He does not want to lose her. Alice is just focused on her food and tells him to relax. She has everything under control at all times. Alice, while all-powerful, is also not experienced in the human world, and Shai thinks that someone might use her. She is also worried because of those visions he had. Nikki then tells Shai that the last time they were here, she had a pancake sandwich. She would love to have one again. Shai tells her that it's no problem, and soon enough they go to the food market. There they meet a professional cook, and he makes a pancake for Nikki. She loves it, and she is super happy. Alice gets interested in this strange food and demands to have her own pancake. Unlike Nikki, Alice wants some bananas in her pancake. This is an odd choice, but the chef makes it for her. The moment Alice bites into the pancake, she loses her mind. It's the perfect food for her. While they relax, there's a fight happening nearby. It seems that some dudes have started to harass a random girl. Alice tells Shai that it's time to use and test his powers. She hides behind a trash container and uses his powers. This time he orders the trash container to get revenge for that girl. Soon enough, the trash can is transformed into a girl that is here to get revenge and stop those horrible guys. Now the trash girl is ready to fight. She goes over to the disgusting guys who are harassing that girl. The trash girl tells them to back off, but they just laugh at her since she seems to be a small child. One of the guys tells her to leave before she gets hurt. He then decides to grab her by the head. This was his first and last mistake. The trash girl grabs his finger and breaks it right there. The other guys decide to step in and help their boy. They charge at the trash girl, but her power is just too great. She is basically a master martial artist. With a few leg kicks, she beats them up without any problem. Soon enough, the horrible guys are on the ground, totally knocked out. Everyone around the trash girl starts to celebrate her for being a badass. The woman that was in danger thanked her for the help. She now realizes that he cannot change her back while she is this popular. Alice tells him to deal with this problem alone. She's done cleaning up his mess. Shai and Nikki then come up with a plan. Nikki goes into the crowd and pretends to be related to the trash girl so that she can take her away. She thanks the trash girl and tells her that it's time to return to her original form. The trash girl does not want that and she runs away. It seems he is not ready to return to her normal trash can form. Shai does not know what to do. One of his creations has escaped. They are also in a crowded market, so it's very hard to find her. Alice tells him to clean up his mess and to run after that girl. Shai runs as fast as he can to hopefully find the trash bin girl. After some time, he realizes he cannot spot her anywhere. Suddenly, he stumbles into a mysterious girl. This is the girl that was there when he used his powers in the past. They seem to know each other, but Shai is a bit confused. The girl tells him that she has somewhere to be, and she leaves. She is stuck and cannot move for a moment, but Alice soon arrives. Alice explains to him that since he uses his superpower to create humans from objects, he also creates a connection with those objects. This means that if he focuses, he can find them. He can literally track them down. Shai manages to focus and calm himself, and soon he sees a blue streak flowing through the crowd. Shai realizes that he has to follow this, and soon enough he finds the trash bin girl. She is angry with him, and she does not want to return to her life as an ordinary trash bin. Shy explains to her that this must happen. She is supposed to be here. The trash bin girl tells him to take responsibility. He created her, so he should adopt her. She is shocked by this idea. The trash bin girl is deadly serious. She would love to live with she and his other girls. She does not want to return to her place of work. She goes on to explain how horrible is it to be a trash bin. Nobody cares about trash bins. They are just there to collect trash. The people in the market often hit the trash bin. They throw it around and they never clean it. It's a horrible life, and now that she is human, she does not want it anymore. She understands her feelings, but he cannot have a trash bin in his apartment. Also, if he takes her, someone might find out, and he will have to pay a fine for stealing a trash bin. The trash bin is furious at Shy, but she does not want to turn back into her regular form. In that moment, Alice arrives. She tells Shy that Nikki returned to her phone form. Alice wanted to help her so that she does not get lost. Shy is happy that Nikki is now safe as his phone, and once again, he tries to tell the trash girl to return to her place. Suddenly, she gets a new idea. He knows a perfect spot for the trash bin girl, somewhere where she can enjoy life. Shy brings his group to a spa center. This is an ultra-clean place, and their trash bin girl can wash away all her troubles. Shy thinks that she could use a good bath, and this is the perfect place. At first, she is not very interested, but she is convinced by she and Alice. They all go inside and get introduced to the people working there. Trash bin girl is loving this place. It's super clean, and all the people are nice. Soon enough, they get their own rooms, and now they can enjoy their stay. She will stay in his separate room as he does not want to make things awkward. Alice makes fun of him for not having a girlfriend and also for being so shy. Shay starts to get angry at her, and he announces that Nikki is his girlfriend. My guy is dating his phone now. That is next level sad. She enters a sauna to relax. He is so happy to have some time to chill and wash up. The only problem is that he is around other naked dudes. This is a sauna for men, so it's Shay and a bunch of old guys. He imagines how awesome it would be to be in a sauna with pretty girls. His nose starts to bleed from just imagining that horny scenario. He hopes that Alice and the trash bin girl won't get into too much trouble. While Shay is chilling with the boys in his own sauna, we see Alice and the trash bin girl. They are exploring their part of the baths. The trash bin girl is super hyped, but also she wants to have some fun. Alice tries to control her so that she does not get into too much trouble. Alice just wants to relax in her bath, but the trash bin girl wants to play around. Finally, Alice throws the girl into some water and tells her to take that bath she wanted too badly. Later, they are joined by some girls in the sauna, and the trash bin girl says some dumb things to them. This is her first day as a human, so we won't be that mad at her. Even Alice, who likes getting into trouble, is not a fan of this type of behavior. Shay would lose his mind if he heard what the trash bin girl said to the other women. The trash bin girl keeps talking. She is now insulting Alice. She does not like Alice, and if she did not tell her to listen to Alice, she would already have left. Alice, on the other hand, is getting pretty annoyed with the little trash girl. She tells her that if she was not so important, she would never babysit someone like her. Some time passes, and they are still in the sauna with the other women. Trash bin girl is bored. She does not like how hot it is. She then decides it's time to torture Alice a little bit. She stands up and pulls out the towel that Alice has. Alice is now totally naked. The trash bin girl wanted to embarrass her since Alice has a giant chest. The trash girl starts to laugh, but Alice is in no laughing mood. She's pissed now, and she starts to chase after the little girl. In the meantime, Shy is finally done with his sauna, and he is glad to be free of all those old dudes. Suddenly, he hears that there is a giant mess going on. It seems that a naked Alice is now chasing after the trash girl all around this spa. Finally, Alice has had enough and she decides to activate her powers and time stops. She tries to talk with one of the dudes that works at the spa, but he is frozen in place. At first, Shy is worried that something happened to this man, but soon he realizes that Alice has activated her powers, which is never a good sign. Alice has now paused everyone around her. They all now stand totally still, frozen in time. The trash bin girl tries to return the towel so that Alice is finally covered up. Alice is now pissed, and she wants to lecture the trash girl. At any time, Alice can just snap her fingers and the trash girl would be nothing more than a trash bin. The trash girl is now in panic mode and she begs for forgiveness. She is very sorry for what she did and what trouble she caused of Alice. Alice sits there. She has a smile on her face and she really wants to torture this little brat. Finally, Alice allows her to live and she snaps time back to its normal flow. Shy is happy that everything returned to normal. In the meantime, Alice tells the trash girl that they have a lot more relaxing to do in this spa, so they should better start ASAP. Shy and the girls all return back to his apartment. Shy is glad to finally be back home, and he is ready for some much-needed relaxation time. The girls, on the other hand, are super hungry. Shy is still pissed off at the trash bin girl, follow them back home. Shy told her several times that he cannot keep her. One of the main reasons is that she's a pretty big trash bin, so big it would not fit in his apartment, and it would look silly. The trash bin girl starts to beg Alice to keep her. She promises to behave and be the best helper around. Alice finally comes around and decides to keep the trash bin girl. Shy is still against it since his apartment is too small. Alice then decides to handle that. She transforms the trash bin girl into a regular bin, just this time it's super small. It's now perfect for Shi, and his apartment is a small trash bin that he can keep in his house. Shai is happy with this, but now there's another problem. Alice is hungry, and when she is hungry, she is cranky. Alice tells Shi to order some fantastic food for her. Suddenly, the trash bin moves and falls. Alice brings her back to her normal human form. The trash bin girl demands that she joins for the meal. She starts to scream and cry. She also plays the victim card since she is in a trash bin. Without any other choice, Shea orders some food for himself, Alice, and the trash bin girl. For her, all foods are special, and she wants to eat everything under the sun. They all stuff themselves, and at the end of the dinner, they are super tired. The trash bin girl demands that she take her for lunch almost every day. She has no idea how his wallet will survive all of this. She wakes up in the morning and he feels really hungover. It seems he had a lot to drink last night. Suddenly, he realizes that Alice is sleeping in the same bed as him and her boobs are touching. She loses his mind and quickly gets up from the bed. He then starts to remember what happened last night. Not only did he order some food, but he also ordered some drinks. Soon enough, the group got wasted. They drank and drank for hours. Alice started to cry about being a goddess. She explained that it's not easy at all, and it's all because of humans. She then said to Shai that she will turn him into her pet. In the meantime, the trash bin girl went crazy as well. She wanted to leave the apartment and tell everyone that she's a free person now. She had to stop her and explain to her why she cannot leave. If she left the apartment without him, she would return to her normal form. The girls all got even more drunk, and soon after they all fell asleep. Now in the morning, she tries to wake up Alice, but again, somehow his hands find her chest. She starts to bleed from his nose. This is too much. She is just too hot. Finally, Alice wakes up and demands to drink some water. Shai realizes that the entire house is a total mess. Suddenly, the doorbell rings and Shai goes to see who it is. When he opens the door, he is surprised to find that his mother has come for a visit. His mother is even more surprised when Alice shows up. The mother is now pissed off. She wants to know who is Alice and what happened to Nikki. Shi's mother was convinced that he was dating Nikki, and now she finds him with a totally different girl. Still, even his mother comments that Alice is beyond hot and very different from Nikki. His mother wants to know if he broke up with Nikki. Shai tells her that nothing like that happened. Then his mother gets even more angry as she now thinks that Shai is cheating on Alice. She has no good explanation, and suddenly Alice tells his mother that she is his cousin. Now this excuse can only work with strangers, but Shi's mother soon realizes that he does not have any cousins. Shai thinks that they are now in serious trouble when suddenly Alice uses her powers. She basically implants new memories in the head of Shi's mother. Now the mother remembers Alice as a part of their family, and she thinks she has a hot cousin. They all hang out, and soon his mother comes up with an idea. Shai's mother and Alice should all go to the shopping mall to have some fun. Shi's mother goes all out. She takes Alice and him on a whole trip. They visit various temples and places. They take a large amount of photos. For Alice, it's fun, but Shai is not the biggest fan of it. His mother also seems to be acting very different. She is caring and really wants to please Alice. They all go grab some food and have a great time. His mom forces Shi to eat a lot. Moms be momming. Finally, she gets a call and has to run because of work. Before she leaves, she tells Shi to take care of Alice. She also pets Alice on her head and says goodbye. Alice is very confused by this, and she stops for a moment. She gets worried that maybe the goddess is angry, but Alice explains that this is the first time someone touched her head this way. She is confused. He cannot believe that the gods never do that in their realm. Alice and Shai return home, and it's very clear that Alice is still thinking about that moment. She tells Shai that humans are very weird creatures. It seems that Alice is starting to change the more she lives with Shi and his family. This is a flashback story that takes place before Alice came to live with Shi. This is before he upgraded his powers. At this time, he still wore that bandage on his hand so that he does not by accident turn an object into a hot babe. At this point, Shai was still getting used to all of this. Then one day, his mother arrived to visit and she brought him a gift. She purchased a leather wallet for him. She wants him to grow up and be responsible with his money. Shai at first did not want the wallet, but his mother forced him to accept it. After she left, the mess began. As we all know, she has a cat and she is not really a fan of the wallet. The wallet somehow ended up in the air and soon it landed right in Shi's hand. Suddenly, he changed the leather wallet into a pretty lady. This lady was very different. She wore leather and she was also a badass. She somehow had a lot of influence and she told Shai that he's going to get a makeover. They rented out a limo and went to a fancy dinner together. She also bought him a lot of different things, of course with his own card. She had to listen to her since she was a bit scary and also a lot hot. Finally, when she returned to normal, Shai was in big trouble. It seems that he spent a lot of money and his mother was furious, so she started to scream at him. Back to the present, we see Shi going to school. He meets up with Sin, and he is friendly with her. She has been busy lately with his powers, so it's good for him to be back at school and chill with his friends. After school, they meet up with Alice outside, and everyone is looking at her, and who could blame them? She is wearing a short skirt and a tight black shirt. Alice is very nice to Sin and wants to hang out with her. Shai is nervous about this since Alice likes to gossip and she likes to tease him. The three of them hang out and chill together. They walk around town talking when suddenly the ground starts to shake. People all around them fall to the ground and it's a pretty bad earthquake. Shia falls to the ground as well. Soon enough, he spots Alice and she's perfectly still. She's focused on something and is very serious. Suddenly, using her portal, Alice goes away. Shai and Sin get up and soon a terrible truth is revealed. Sid no longer remembers Alice for some reason. She remembers Nikki, but not Alice. Shai is worried that something might have happened to Alice, so he goes running to find out what happened. Suddenly, he gets a vision of that evil superpowered man with a hood. Soon Shai arrives and spots a giant car accident with many injured. He decides to activate his powers and summons a new girl to help him in this mission. She has now summoned a new girl and he needs her help, but he does not have time to explain. He is so nervous and angry that he hurts the girl's arm. Shai is very sorry, but the girl understands. She is in a police uniform since she was a device that patrols traffic. She asks her what happened in that car accident and if she saw something strange. The girl explains that something very odd happened before the accident. She saw a mysterious man walking down the street. He had an evil energy. Suddenly, this man threw a can at the girl in her previous form. He then went to cross the street when a car came right at him. The guy did not move. He was not scared at all. He just lifted up his hand and pointed it toward the car. In that moment, the car flew in the air and crashed into some other cars. She is shocked as he realizes that this person is very real. There is someone with powers even stronger than his, and they seem to be evil. Shai thanks the girl and turns her back to her normal form. He then starts to run in the direction she last saw the guy going. Shai is now really worried about Alice, and he does not want his vision to come true. Soon he enters some dark streets and spots blood on the ground and some keys. Then the worst happens. Shai sees Alice on the ground. She is injured and barely alive. Maybe his vision really is coming true. Shai is worried about Alice and tries to wake her up, but nothing is working. Suddenly, he hears a scary voice in the distance. Finally, he is face to face with the superpowered villain who has been causing so much trouble. Shai screams at him and demands to know why he hurt Alice. The villain just laughs at Shai. She wants to know if the villain knows that Alice is a god. The villain explains that he knows and does not care. He also insults she and Alice as well. Shai is now furious and he demands a fight. He stands up and calls the villain a scumbag. The villain is not like this one bit. At this point, we cannot see his face clearly, but only his red eyes flash towards Shai. She steps forward and decides to fight the villain. He's going to get revenge for Alice. She suddenly wakes up in a hospital bed. His head is wrapped up and he is injured. By his side is another friendly man who explains the situation. It seems that she was found badly injured in a street. He was taken care of and brought to the hospital. After that, he remained sleeping for 3 whole days. The doctors were ready to give up on him as they thought he would never wake up. The other patient starts to tease Shai. He thinks that Shai got into a fight over a girl. Shai tries to explain that it's nothing like that. Still, Shai cannot remember much. He just remembers an injured Alice. He cannot believe that he got injured so badly. Suddenly, Nikki arrives and she hugs Shai. Shai is happy to see Nikki and she explains that now she can remain in this form for a longer time. It seems that his powers evolved once more. They talk about what happened when suddenly the police arrive. One of the officers is the same one that thought she was involved. This should be good. The police officers arrive and they need to ask Shi some questions about the car accident. The cameras caught him running from the scene and there is a theory that he is involved. Also, there was a lot of injured people and one dead person. In that moment, Shai remembers what happened to Alice and he fears the worst. Maybe Alice really died, just like in his vision. She tries to explain the situation to the police officers. He wants to know if Alice is okay. Then one of the officers explains that he does not think Shai is a criminal. He might be a victim. The other officer is suspicious as he already thinks that Shai is an evil person. Finally, she starts to answer some questions, but soon a problem appears. Shai cannot remember anything. He remembers Alice being all bloody and injured, and he remembers talking with that girl who saw the accident. He does not remember the villain or anything else. The officers are surprised, but the friendly patient explains that Shai got hit in the head pretty good, so memory loss is nothing strange. The police officers decide that they will return at a later time to talk with Shi once again. One of the officers looks at Shai with rage and Shai realizes that he is now in trouble. Shai and Nikki talk about the situation and what is happening. Shai really cannot remember anything no matter how hard he tries. Nikki then explains that she does not have a lot of information about his accident, but she did find a key. It seems that Shi was holding a key in his hand when he was found. Shai is confused by this and does not know what this key means. Shai tries to remember what that key means, but no matter how hard he tries, it does not work. The only thing that he remembers is that he found a key in the alley, but nothing after that. He asks Nikki for some information, but she does not know. Soon his mother arrives and she was really worried about him. She was also angry at Shi for getting into an accident in the first place. Shai is really hungry, and while Nikki brought him some food, his mother wants to do even better, and she plans to bring him more better food. Shai is embarrassed since his mother treats him like a child, but it's nice to have someone who cares about you. The other nice patient thinks that Shai and his entire crew are a bit strange, but interesting. Shy and Nikki are hanging out while he is still in the hospital. The friendly patient loves to watch them since they are so obviously in love. Shy tells him to chill out a bit, and they all laugh about it. Suddenly, Shi's mother returns, but she is not alone anymore. She's brought private chefs to all have special meals made for all the patients, and even a friendly patient gets some delicious food. Shy is happy that his mother is going all out, and he loves this food. Nikki is also very happy. Shy eats a lot as he has been hungry for a while now. His mother is super happy that he is feeling better, but still finds a reason to scold him. The friendly patient finds his mother super hot, and he would love to be Shi's new father. She ignores him and continues to hang out with Nikki. That night, something odd happens. Shy is in bed when suddenly a nurse appears in the room. He cannot see her, but she asks him a very scary question. She asks him if he wants to live or not. Shy feels that he is in serious trouble now. Shy does not know how to respond, so he tells the nurse that he wants to live. She does not say anything, and soon after she leaves their room. Shy spends the entire night thinking about what just happened, and he decides to find out who this nurse is. There must be something to it, and he wants to know if this nurse also has powers of some kind. He tries to ask around, but the other patients have no idea what he is talking about. That same night, Shy waits for the nurse to come again, but she does not. Shy even asks Nikki to spy on this nurse and find out more information, but Nikki cannot find anything. She has been in the hospital for a few days, but he is slowly recovering. His memory is still a mess, and he cannot remember much from that day. Still, he spends his days with Nikki, so he is happy in general. He has yet to find out who that nurse is, but soon he realizes that maybe she was not talking to him that night, maybe she was talking to the other patients in the room. She also finds out that another nice patient in his room has liver cancer. He is not in the best condition, so maybe the nurse visited him instead of Shy. She meets this patient, and they drink some water and talk. The man is very nice and also very sick. Suddenly, she gets a phone call. It's Sin, and she is worried sick about him since he has been in the hospital for a while now. Sin is super worried about Shi since he has been gone for quite some time. She calls him on the phone and wants to know if he is okay. Shy explains the entire situation and tells her that she is in the hospital. Sin is now freaking out even more. When that accident happened, he just ran off and she did not know what was happening with him. Now knowing that he is in the hospital, she is even more worried. Sin wants to see him as fast as possible, but Shy explains that it's all okay and that he is fine hanging out with Nikki. Nikki is also a bit strange. She's been in her human form for days now, and she is just not turning into a phone. Shy thinks that this is pretty strange and he does not know what this means at all. After a few hours, Sin arrives and hugs Shy as hard as she can. She also promises to help him with whatever he wants. A few more days pass and Shy is still recovering in the hospital. He is getting better, but he still cannot walk like normal. Sin is there every day and helps him with everything she can. She is truly proving how much she cares for Shy. While she loves that she is here, he is also worried about a lot of things. He sees strange visions of Alice and her warning about humanity. She knows that he only has one more year until everything falls apart for Earth and its people. Sin decides to take out Shy outside for a few minutes so that he can get some fresh air. While outside, she starts to get really worried about the future and about what happened with Alice. Also, he is still thinking about that nurse. The person who had liver cancer is now cured, and Shy is certain that the mysterious nurse did that. He has to find out who she is. Sin continues to take care of Shi. He has a long recovery ahead of him, and it's nice to have her by his side. At this point, Nikki has been on her phone form for a few days. Shy realizes that his powers are changing, but he does not know why or how yet. He tells Sin to leave and get some rest at home. Sin gets frustrated since she feels like he is sending her away. Shy thanks her again, and he explains that he just feels bad for bothering her. Sin decides to leave, but they agree to work on their homework later so that Shy does not miss much schoolwork. She gets ready to summon Nikki, but his friendly patient arrives and he just wants to talk about how awesome Shy is. He has so many girlfriends who want to date him. She gets nervous about it and he finally decides to move out in a new room. Now he's finally alone and he can summon Nikki at any point. When he summons, Nikki seems different. She seems sad. She wants to know what is happening and Nikki starts to cry. She tells Shy that she hopes he does not hate her. Shy is very confused by this since Nikki is his best girl. He wants to know what is going on with her. Nikki explains that these past few days she was in her phone form and she could not take care of Shy. Shin was the one who did all the work and now Nikki feels horrible. Shy hugs her and tells her that she is the best and not to worry. Nikki then tells Shy that Sin likes him for sure. Shy thinks that this is a silly idea. He does not believe that Sin likes him. He also tells Nikki that it does not matter. He likes her and only her. Shy wants to spend all this time with Nikki and date only her. Soon enough, a mysterious nurse arrives to help Shy. At that moment, Shy remembers her voice, and it's obvious she is the nurse from that night. The nurse works on his bandages and then tells him to strip his clothes so that she can check him. Since the nurse is of course very attractive, this makes Shi very nervous. The nurse leaves on after and now Shi has a working theory. This nurse must be the same one he saw that night and the same one who healed that patient. Shy and Nikki talk about the nurse and Shy thinks that the nurse also has superpowers like him. Shai is not certain if they can still trust her or if they should be very careful. Nikki agrees and Shai come up with a plan. Nikki will spy on the nurse and follow her around to find out more information about her. Nikki starts to follow the nurse and spies on her. She follows her every move. Nikki then reports all of that info to Shai and they talk about it. She wants to keep his distance for the time being. Nikki would like to continue her spy mission. She is really tired and her battery is empty. In that moment, the nurse arrives and Nikki turns into a phone. Now she has been busted, and the nurse knows his secret. She tries to explain the situation. At first, he acts dumb and tells the nurse that nothing happened. The nurse is too smart for that, and she calls him out on his lies. Shai, realizing that he is out of options, decides to be honest. He tells the nurse that he has powers just like her. The nurse is also busted. She admits that she can heal people, not hurt them. Still, the nurse does not trust Shai, and he needs to show off his powers. She cannot bring back Nikki since her battery is empty, so he decides to touch a pillow and change it into a girl. The pillow girl is very attractive, and she is there to serve her master. In that moment, the nurse realizes that she was telling the truth. Shai returns the girl into a pillow, and finally he talks with the nurse honestly. The nurse admits that she can heal anything and she has been doing so in the hospital. She also explains that she has a very dangerous condition, which the other doctors have not found. It seems that the villain he fought broke every bone in his body in little tiny ways. This is not detectable by modern medicine, but soon his bones will break and he will die. The only way he can survive is if a nurse heals him. Shai accepts this, and for the next few hours she heals his body. After the process is done, she is tried and Shai is grateful. The nurse just makes him promise that he won't get hurt again like this. They also mention the goddess Alice and how she gave all of them different powers to save the world. Chengsin is the name of the nurse, and she explains that Alice also gave her powers, but they did not meet for very long. It also seems that other gods can give humans powers, so Alice is not the only one with a plan. Shai realizes that this is a much bigger story than he imagined. The nurse leaves and Shai knows he has a new friend. Soon after that, she tries to remember what happened to him that day. He talks with Nikki, who was there that day. Nikki explains that after she was knocked out, that mysterious villain just left without a trace. Nikki tried to call an ambulance for Shai, but also she wanted to return and save Alice. When Nikki came back, Alice was gone. She now realizes that Alice might truly be gone, and he will have to continue on without her. She, Nikki, and Chengzhen talk about Alice and how she is missing. Without any new info from Nikki, it's going to be difficult to find anything new. Shai is certain that Alice is alive, but he cannot reach her since she is a goddess. In that moment, the nurse reveals her secret. She actually adores Alice since she saved her life. That is the reason the nurse is now helping people. Suddenly, Shi's mother arrives and she wants to visit her son badly. Right from the start, she gets into an argument with her son about his cat Mimi and also about Nikki. Shai tells his mother that he will never give away his cat no matter what. She has a vision where he is floating into space. He sees the nurse, but now she is in a bed made of crystals. Soon Alice appears to him in this vision. She tells him that soon she will take over the body of that nurse. She is confused and does not understand what is happening or what this vision means. Nikki and Shi are going to the store, and there he runs into his childhood friend and her mother. Her mother wanted to arrange a marriage between Shi and her daughter. It's a very awkward meeting, but Shai is able to survive it just fine. When he gets home, Nikki and him cook a delicious meal. Nikki is cleaning around the house and having issues with Mimi. In the meantime, Shai is trying to find out more information about the villain that attacked him. Finally, he gets the idea to change his shirt into a babe and get information from his shirt. He does it, but the shirt girl has no information, so she has to keep trying. Finally, he has lead. Summons Pants Babe to find out more. Pants Babe is very specific, and while she does not give him a lot of information, it's enough clues about what happened that day. After that, Shai decides to use his powers on his shoes. He summons the Shoe Babe to find out even more info. Shai wakes up in the middle of the night while everyone is sleeping. He goes to explore his apartment building after feeding his cute cat Mimi. Shi then meets a new kid that lives here. The kid is pretty weird, and he asks Shi all sorts of personal questions. When Shai returns home, he sees a kid failing down the building, so he summons a rope babe to save the kid. Kid was sleeping and walking, and that is the reason he fell. Now Shai decides to help him understand what happened that night. They are also joined by that other weird kid, who just follows Shai around. After helping the sleepwalking kid, Shi just wants to go home and rest. Shi is just having an ordinary day. He is happy that he was able to save that kid. Kind of feels like a hero. Then suddenly one day he meets the mom of that kid. You guessed it, the mom is super hot, like stupid hot. Shai is so amazed, and the kid tells his mom right away that Shai is the one who saved him. She gets to know the mom, and he becomes a friend to her. She seems like a nice lady. Of course, Shai only has eyes for his best girl, Nikki.